I love Sekiro. It is one of my favorite games. It's a game that doesn't get talked about much or is forgotten. It's one of the best Souls-like games I've ever played. Despite that, there are 5 things it could have done better. Now, don't take these criticisms too personal. Sekiro is an amazing game. Don't go to the comments defending it. I love this game. You don't need to defend it. Now, you could tell me whether if you don't agree with my criticisms. This is just my opinion on what the game could have done better. No game is perfect. Hey there everyone, it's your boy Sandwich Boy back here with another video. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. I am Sandwich Boy and I play games. Here on the channel I make a variety of content, so if you enjoy this video, check out my other content that I do. Alright, for number 5, the overused mini-bosses. Now, I am okay with reusing assets where it's like, alright, we have a duplicate boss. We're going to tweak his moves a little bit where he's going to have 1 or 2 extra moves. I am fine with that. But when you're playing Sekiro and it's like, oh, there's 3 of these guys. There's 2 of these guys. There's like 5 headless. It's all fun for the first time. You're like, I know how to beat you this time. I'm not going to die several times. And that's fine. You know, for the 3 different samurai general, it makes sense. The first one's a skill check. Then the second one's like, alright, this one hits a bit harder. And he has an additional move. Then the third one has both moves of 1 and 2. So it makes sense. But when you're playing for the second or third time, you're going for that platinum run, you're like, oh, it's just this guy. Where you just wish there was more variety of the mini bosses, where you're okay with, all right, there's a duplicate, of them somewhere. Where you're fine with like having a second one around, but by the time you get to number 3, or for the headless, there's like 5 of them, it's when you start feeling, man, I wish this was a different fight where there was more variety to some of the mini bosses. And that's just kind of how I felt by like the 4th round of the game, where I was getting ending number 4. I'm like, I've already beat you. Already. I've already done this. And that's my issue, is I wish some of the mini bosses could have been done better, where this fight was very different, where it kept you on your toes instead of, I have fought you before. I know what to do. As much fun as that is, it just gets very boring by the 3rd time. And especially by the 4th time, if there is a 4th variant of them. That's just all I wished. Number 4, only having 1 weapon throughout the whole game. Sekiro is such an addicting game. The combat is so good, where it is just deflect, 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 attack, attack. Deflect, 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 attack, attack, learning those combos. And it would have benefited so much for a additional 1 or 2 weapons added into the game, where you could be deflect, 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 switch weapons, and this weapon could be a longer range weapon, or it could be a weapon that does more damage, where you could spice up already that amazing gameplay, where you'd be like, oh, I love my sword, but I want to use a different weapon and use a different string of combos and patterns. That is like the one thing I just wish was in the game. This is the one thing I wish they could have just added in the game. It was just in the game, because it is definitely something you think about especially when you play Dark Souls, Bloodborne, or Elden Ring, where you have at least multiple different weapons to choose from, where you can change up your style. And that is kind of what I wanted, where you could be using your sword. Oh, and then you switch to this weapon and it changes up your style of combat to where you do a different string of combos and possibly a couple different combat arts. And no, the prosthetic tools do not count. Those are basically just spells. And no, the Mortal Blade does not count. That is just a combat art. Having a actual weapon you could switch to would have just been really amazing. And it is like the one thing I just wanted so badly to be in the game. This is definitely the one thing I would have chosen to be added into the game. Now, for this next one, I feel very passionate about, and that is number 3, the lack of ninjutsu. There is only 3 in the game, and that is Puppeteer, which costs 5 Spirit Emblems. Then you have Bloodsmoke, which costs 6 Spirit Emblems. And then you have Bestall, which costs a whopping 7 Spirit Emblems. Now, these are all very situational in use. You are not going to be using these very often. Puppeteer has a few situations. Bloodsmoke is for getting out of situations. And Bestall is for some extra attack power. But you can just eat one of the goddamn candies to get that. And not waste 7 Spirit Emblems. They are just so underwhelmingly and lacking. I don't know, you're playing as a goddamn ninja. Maybe Shadow Clone. Sue me. I don't know. Here's another one. Like illusions, like the one Lady Butterfly does. Or blow yourself up in a tactical way and then revive yourself. Where you can do a lot of significant damage or enough damage to get the boss's health down or take out a group of enemies. Transformation. Turn into one of the enemies and trick them into believing you are one of them. There are so many ideas you could incorporate. Why only 3? It is so underwhelmingly. You are playing as a goddamn ninja. For fuck's sake. Why 3? There is so many that could have done or improvised or cool things that could have been used as ninjutsu, but no. We are stuck with 3 that feel very underwhelming, and lackluster, and very much of a second thought. I don't know. It just seemed so easy. It just seemed like, oh, this would have been so easy for you to do. You're playing as a goddamn ninja. Why can you not use more ninjutsu? I just don't understand it. You know, I just wanted more, okay? I just wanted more cool shit that I could have done. That could have been cool. But no. I couldn't. And now I'm here bitching about it. God, this makes me so heated when I think about it. I just wish. Okay, you'll get the point. Alright, for our next one, and that is number 2, the Spirit Emblem System, which I strongly feel like is unfinished and unperfected. It definitely feels like magic for Sekiro. So in Dark Souls, you have magic, so you have your FP bar. So think of that as the amount of Spirit Emblems you have. And then you have your spells, which can be your prosthetic tools, some of your combat arts that cost Spirit Emblems, and ninjutsu. But it definitely feels like they spliced a little bit of Bloodborne, where it's like you have the 20 bullets, 20 Spirit Emblems max. but they have that. But it feels very limited. Where, yes, you can upgrade your spirit emblems where you can get up to 20. Then you can use this one particular item where you can have 25 spirit emblems. But because the way you get spirit emblems, you either get them through rare drops or you just buy more when you rest at the idol. And it definitely feels like you're very limited in what you use. Now you can throw like 20 shuriken at someone, or use the axe 10 times, or use the firecrackers this many times, or the flame vent this many times, or the poison blade this many times. So it definitely feels like it was almost there, but it just doesn't feel perfected. And I think why I feel this way is because you are so limited to what you can kind of do, and you have to rest to regain all your spirit emblems. Like, there is no that second flask in Dark Souls to recover your FP. Definitely, maybe if they had that in the game, it would be better. But I think a better system would be gaining spirit emblems during combat, which is a mod, and basically deflecting, attacking, doing certain things, doing certain combat arts earns you spirit emblems. I don't know why I said prosthetic tools. But it earns you spirit emblems, where it definitely felt, when you have that incorporated, it definitely feels like a better system. Where, yes, you are earning spirit emblems where it could turn broken. You can simply just adjust the cost for some prosthetic tools. But it feels better when you incorporate it through, you earn spirit emblems through combat, so you are incentivized to use them instead of like, I could use this but I don't feel like using it because I'm limited to it, or I'm going to only use these particular tools for this boss because it helps in the fight, you know. So I think they were going for, had that limited use to where you use it sparingly. But I kind of prefer the system where it is encouraged for you to use them. So it's like, I don't know if I should use it on this enemy. So that's just how I feel about it. I just wish they incorporated it in that way, where you earn them through combat, instead of fearing of like using too many and then having to go back to the idol and rest. That's all. Alright, for our final one today, and that is no DLC. This is such a crime that Sekiro got no DLC. Dark Souls 1 through 3 got DLC. Bloodborne got DLC. Even Elden Ring is getting DLC, yet Sekiro has none. Nada. Zilch. Yes, there are the gauntlet challenges. I don't really consider that DLC. That is just a fun challenge. Challenges you can do with some pretty cool rewards. What I mean by DLC is like the Hunter's Nightmare or Ring City. Something like a new area added to the game, and bosses and lore to the game that is added or expanded upon. That is what I mean by DLC for the game. And Sekiro just didn't get that. I wanted some DLC for Sekiro so bad. A new area, some new lore to be expanded upon. Just something that would be interesting. Could have been the first Shura. It could have been the war, that Ishin and Ao fought in. or it could have been about Wolf's younger days and his training, and more shinobi stuff. It could have been about that, or it could have been about the sculpture, you know, and how he almost became a Shura. We could have gone into that. It could have been so fascinating. It could have been such an amazing DLC if they did something like that, but no, we didn't get that. I'm upset about it. And I want it. I just want it so bad. You want it too. This is why you're watching this video, because you've thought about it. That's it. Like, that's what I wanted. This is the one that I find the biggest crime, that there was no DLC. Like, some of this stuff is like, I would kind of want at least 4 through 1 have been something added into the game. 5 is debatable, where I can live with or without it of that being changed, but 4 through 1 is definitely the 4 things that I wish they had done. But regardless, what did you think of this? Do you agree with my list, or do you not agree with my list? Tell me what things you would have wanted or changed in the game, because honestly, this is really a concentrated list of the things that I thought the game could have done better. Let me know what you thought the game could have done better, or nothing at all. I'm super curious to what people think. But without further ado, I hope you have a fantastic day. This is the video. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button or subscribe for more. Do what you want to do, but for real, it helps me out. But yeah, see ya.